A number of years ago, I came down with something that some of the community knows this. I've been open about it. If you've been here for the first time, I think it was 6 years ago that on July 4th weekend, I discovered that I had gout. And the way that I discovered it was that I wanted to chop my toe off. I was in so much pain, and I couldn't figure out if I had stubbed my toe. Didn't make any sense to me. I eat pretty healthily. I exercise. This is Judaism for body, mind, and spirit. Couldn't figure out why I was in so much pain. Subsequently, I kind of have it under control, so to speak, but every now and then I get a flare-up, and I think the last time that I had a flare-up was in the back of my foot, near the back, near the tendon, my Achilles heel, the heel. It became really clear to me that part of the body is a very significant part of the body. The oft overlooked, maybe underserved, callous-ridden element known in our tradition, actually, believe it or not, the tradition speaks about the heel. It says it's a very tough part of the body. And to be one who is connected with the heel has multiple valences in our tradition. Of course, many of you might be thinking about Jacob, whose name Yaakov is from the word heel. Akev, Yado Ochezid Ba'akev, Esav. His hand was he was a heel grabber. He was grabbing onto the heel of his brother. And this Jacob, this Yaakov, this heel grabber, was paradoxically someone whose life revolved around not being behind, but being in front of. He spent his whole life running. In fact, Jacob's life on the run is pretty much the theme until that fateful story in the Torah, in the Bible, where he actually has to confront what he hasn't confronted, where he has to face what he has been running from. And Jacob, the heel grabber, becomes Yisrael, the one who wrestles, the one who sees God face to face. Jacob learns to become who he's meant to become when he's no longer able to walk. Jacob's limp, Jacob's wound slows him down, and the heel grabber has to finally stop running. He has to move at a slower pace. The heel is important in our tradition because it means that which follows. And tomorrow morning, the parsha's name is Akev. Aya Akev Tishma'un. It will be if you listen Akev, if you will listen, the consequence of your listening will be. The word Akev, the commentaries say, is a very strange word to use for consequences. We are familiar with the second paragraph of the Shema, which we just read. Ve'aya im shamo, if you will listen, then quid pro quo, the divine quid pro quo. The theology of reward and punishment, the second paragraph of the Shema, which will also appear tomorrow morning in the reading, is not the form used at the beginning of tomorrow morning's reading. Tomorrow morning we'll begin with, if you will listen, ve'aya akev. If you will listen, then akev, you will be given. There will be consequences like a heel follows the body. Your listening will reap benefits. But the usage of the word akev for consequences, the commentaries are bothered by that, and it kind of gets their midrashic juices flowing. Says Rashi in the name of the midrash, if you will akev, if you will heal, if you will listen even to those mitzvot she'adam dash ba'akevotav, even those things that you might step on with your heel, that you listen to even those neglected areas like the heel is neglected. A listening so deep that even those places that are normally not visible or not seen will become attended to. A listening that brings forth that which is normally not visible or that which is normally not important or prioritized. That kind of listening. But I want to go with heal in a different way. The first usage of the term heal in English is actually to bring to heal, which is kind of like Rashi, right? To bring to heal means To bring an animal to heel means to have it obey you. Right? And in classic biblical jargon, tomorrow morning is basically if you are really obedient. And I mean heel, boy. Heel, girl. Heel, Jew. In the Torah, Moshe is saying heel. Be obedient. But fear doesn't work when it comes to obedience. When someone tells us that we have to do something, we immediately say, oh, really? So we have to hear heel like the Greeks heard it, like the Romans in Achilles' heel. We have to hear heel as vulnerability, the place where your armor isn't. The place where your armor isn't. The place where you are exposed, where I am exposed. If you will listen from that place, says the Torah tomorrow morning, as we make our way into the high holidays. If you will listen from the place where you can't guard yourself, if you will listen and if you will heal from that place, if you will listen to those little places here and there, that's the kind of healing that we need. The Torah wants us to know that the lowest part of the body is the heel. In Kabbalah, it's called Ikbeda de Meshicha, the place that is the furthest away from purpose, the furthest away from the original idea. It's the place where God's light has fallen so far away from its primordial place in Ein Sof, in the infinite, that it's like the heel. And says the Torah, the Messianic era is called the heel of the Messiah. Meaning that even those things that seem so far removed from holiness, those things that feel so far removed from your greatest moment, are the places where redemption happens. The beginning of Tshuva, the beginning of the high holiday period it's a meditation on where the light doesn't always reach, where the armor can't fully guard, but you keep it behind you. We begin our long journey home, our long walk to the freedom of being true, by recognizing that there are vulnerable places like that heel that we think will take us down, but actually are our gateway towards transformation. And the last little Torah on Akev, which I learned from a friend this morning, is V'haya Akev Tishme'un, if you will heal, listen, means if you will slow down like Jacob slowed down. If we will take our time in a city, in a life that is forever pushing us to go quickly, 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 quickly. If we will Akev Tishme'un, if we will listen in a way that allows us to feel those vulnerable places, to feel, as Rabbi Jessica said from Rachel, that heart that is afraid to be exposed because it will fly away. It takes great courage to listen from the heel. It takes great courage to slow down and to know what happens when we slow down, because when we are running fast, we skip over everything. The kingdom of heaven is here in the moment, and when we bring our attention to that, healing happens. So this last quote from Mark Nepo: while justice is the flooding of light into dark places in the world, healing is the flooding of light into dark places in the heart. While justice is the flooding of light into dark places in the world, healing, and you can even hear that any way you want, healing, vulnerability, allowing ourselves to touch places where the armoring has to come off. That's the beginning of healing. And that's bringing light into the dark places in our hearts. So I want to bless all of you on this Shabbat of healing, of Akev. Slow down, everybody. Listen from your heels.